Good morning and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I'm Razzle11 and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. Going to take a look at pitching for today, the 22nd of May. It is Thursday. We do have a 4-game day slate and just a 5-game main slate this evening. Generally don't do videos for some slates this small, but it's kind of an interesting day of pitching with some weather. So I thought I'd throw some thoughts together, kind of last minute. I realized the early slate starts in just less than an hour and a half. By the time you guys are listening to this, maybe it's already passed, or maybe it's about an hour and 10 minutes away or so. But this is a first look video. I will be looking at DraftKings as that is where a majority of my action is. If you do play on FanDuel, I would cut my pool into a half. Pricing isn't quite as tight. You don't have to be as creative. It allows you to get the stacks you want with an upper tier-ish pitcher. With that said, weather. Big thing here. Most of the weather is this evening. Some slight rain in New York, but that's alright. Cold temperatures in New York, which is interesting since that's the best two pitchers on this early slate. Let's just jump right in. Eovaldi versus Rodon. The Yankees minus 162 favorites. Game total 7. Juices on the over. Rodon's K-prop 6.5 juice to the over. Eovaldi's 5.5 juice to the over. They're the top two K-props on the slate. Rodon plus 150 to earn the W, which is the third best number on the slate, which is kind of weird. Eovaldi all the way down at plus 220. Very interesting. Rodon's been throwing the ball extremely well. Eovaldi's been spectacular this season. Obviously, the Yankees have some danger in their lineup. Judge just makes them so much more difficult than even that Texas lineup. But they're far and away my two top pitchers on the slate, and it's not even close. Ranger Suarez obviously taking on the weak Colorado squad. Always in play. 2 strong starts, 1 horrible start. Obviously pitching in Coors, there's an issue there, but we do know that Colorado, one of the weakest offenses in baseball. Suarez is actually minus 135 to earn the W. K-prop of 5.5 is basically a pick 'em. So that's the top 3 K-props on this slate. And Severino is just behind them. But those are clearly the 3 guys. And I do believe those are the highest 3 in ownership. Actually, Eovaldi is down a little bit behind Severino, which feels weird given that that ballpark is made for hitting for sure. Severino does have that K-prop of 5.5 juice to the under. He is plus 145 to earn the W, which is slightly ahead of Rodon. But game total in that one is 10.5 juice to the over. The total in that game is almost the same as the total in Coors on this particular slate. I think Severino's in play. I just don't love it. Obviously, we pick on the Angels because of their massive strikeout rate. And that's really what we're doing here. The other game I want to talk about, Kolek versus Bowden Francis. I think I am going to be on the Bowden Francis side and not on the Stephen Kolek side. I think people are going to point to his 21 fantasy points per game, his 2.33 ERA, etc. I'm going to point out the fact that those 2 starts came against the worst 2 teams in baseball. The worst 2 offenses, I should say. I realize one came in Coors. It is what it is. But against the competent offenses last time out, even in a pitcher's park at home, I gave up 3 home runs. Toronto, I know they just put up a bunch of runs, and a lot of times we talk about maybe going to a pitcher against a team that just kind of nutted all over the previous slate. I'm not going to Kolek, I don't believe. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I think I'm going to, but it's going to be the last pitcher in with just a sprinkle, given that we think that Toronto could kind of shit the bed a bit without Santander. But I just don't really want to go to Kolek. I think I'm going to go to Bowden Francis. It's dangerous, right? Francis giving up 14 home runs in 46 and a third innings. Allowing a ton of home runs. It's just not great. But San Diego's offense is struggling mightily right now. And they actually put in an extra right-handed bat over a left-handed bat. I think Hayward's on the bench, and I believe it was Lockbridge that is in the lineup. With that said, I don't feel super great about it. He hasn't been good. One strong start against Seattle. Pretty solid start, the first start of the year, but it hasn't been great. The Toronto pitching staff has been solid against San Diego in the series, and with San Diego struggling so much, I think I would rather play Bowden Francis than Steven Kolek in this matchup. When we look at ownership, I think obviously the field kind of agrees with me. A little shocking, to be honest. Francis's projection is horrendous compared to Kolek's, but let's jump over to the main slate here. Weather. This is the one with the weather spots. Milwaukee, Pittsburgh. Pretty big, important cold weather, rain, etc. But it's really important because Pittsburgh has scored four runs or fewer, and I think it's 26 straight games. 26 or 28-ish, somewhere in there, but it's a lot of games in a row, scoring 4 runs or less. Boston, Baltimore, we kind of believe that it's going to be PPD'd sometime earlier today. If for some reason that clears up from a rain standpoint, super windy blowing in, and it's cold. That becomes a very nice spot for pitching if the rain somehow just disappears. But at this point, I'm kind of planning on this game being PPD'd. So we can kind of skip over Povich versus Giolito. Both guys would be in play if somehow that cleared up. I'm going to have to refresh because I feel like they changed the Milwaukee projected starter here. They did, Aaron Savale. But getting to this slate, Cleveland, Detroit, Flaherty and Bibby, or Bibby, I should say. Flaherty, a couple rough starts, bounced back a little bit last time out. Cleveland, not a daunting opponent. This K-Prop's 5.5, juice to the under. It's tied at the top. There's 4 pitchers with K-Props at 5.5, juice to under, and 2 of those are in that Boston game. Flaherty plus 170 during the W, while Bibby's plus 185. Game total of 8, juice to the under as well. Flaherty is the favorite in this game at minus 142. Definitely in play at that solid price point. Bibby, not the greatest history against some of the Detroit bats. I did happen to look at that. It's been all over the place this year without any big upside games. I do think one is coming at some point. I just don't know if it's going to happen against Detroit. Based on the slate itself, Bibby has to be in play, especially if we lose the Baltimore-Boston game. Milwaukee-Pittsburgh, if Aaron Savale is making the start, I've seen 3 different pitchers projected as the starter throughout this morning already. But if Savale's in play, we are going to, or if he's pitching, he's in play, obviously because of the way the Pittsburgh offense has been. Savale started out the season horrendously, got hurt, gave up a bunch of home runs, but the Yankees were hitting a bunch of home runs to begin the season as well. Savale, definitely an option for us as long as he makes the start. Atlanta Braves, AJ Smith-Shawver. This is the spot that I wanted to be super overweight on yesterday prior to it being rained out, and I plan on being super overweight on it this evening as well. Smith-Shawver, pretty strong reverse splits guy. The right-handed bats in Washington's lineup do not worry me all that much. Plus, a majority of that lineup should be left-handed. I would guess that there's a chance that the first 6 hitters, maybe, are hitting left-handed. And maybe 7 out of the 9 in the lineup. It's a pretty left-hand heavy lineup against a guy that has crushed against left-handed bats. Baltimore, Boston, like we talked about. Both guys are going to be in play. I don't really want to touch too much on it, but Giolito, obviously super volatile, but Baltimore's striking out a ton right now. Povich, super volatile as well, but Boston's striking out and it's cold. So, last game on the slate, Seattle-Houston. McCullers. I don't know what to do with McCullers. I think we're going to play him. Trending nicely. Obviously had that hiccup against Cincinnati, but looked pretty solid against Texas without strikeouts, but still was solid. Gets a huge price drop as well. Seattle, super volatile, dangerous spot, but they do have some outs in the lineup. They do have some strikeouts that happen as well. It's just tough to trust what we're going to get out of McCullers. Walks have been an issue so far, and walks lead to big innings. So I think we're going to play McCullers. His K-prop's 4.5 with juice on the over, so he has a stronger K-prop than Kirby. Seattle is just a minus 135 favorite, and the game total is just 8.5. So, close ball game. McCullers might be in play. Kirby making his first start of the season. I believe he's only stretched out to 64 pitches in his last rehab outing. That probably means we're looking at a 5-inning, 75 to 80 pitch performance from Kirby, I would guess. Maybe they push him to 85, but I'm not sure. A lot of that might be game dependent, but I would think a safe assumption would be a 5-inning appearance. But since we have such a small slate, I think a 5-inning appearance out of Kirby would suffice for a GPP winner. He is favored. He doesn't have any win odds yet, but the K-prop of 4.5. Juice on the under, but I feel like that's a little low number. I didn't mention it with Smith-Shawver, but he's plus 145 during the W, which is the best so far on this particular slate. So there we have it. There's a quick rundown of the pitching on this day. Not the greatest slates for pitching overall, but I wanted to talk about a few of them, give my thoughts, etc. If you enjoy what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, get the alert anytime we drop videos here at DFS Army. If you want to join us, get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc., I will put links in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, that's R-A-Z, for 10% off monthly. And as always, best of luck, everybody.